Hi there, it's Sandra with Brew City Thrifts. Today I'm at the Wauwatosa Goodwill. Wauwatosa is a western suburb of the Milwaukee area. It is not typically a Tuesday place for me. It is typically a Friday or a weekend place for me. So I have no idea if I'm going to find anything, but it's always fun to try. So let's hit it. Right off the bat, I find this collection of Looney Tunes Jam or jelly jars. I've got Tom and Jerry, I've got the Roadrunner, I've got Bugs Bunny, and I've got the Tasmanian Devil. And 3 of the jars have lids. Here is where I actually found that collection. My video from when I picked it up did not take. So anyway, I looked at them and I knew they were vintage, and it wasn't until I looked them up online that I discovered that I thought, yes, they really are going to be worth the pickup. So those were my first finds of the day. Some of my viewers have told me that they prefer having the sound muted, so I'll be doing that occasionally in this video. Here's a little amber glass creamer. It appears to have the coin dot pattern on it, but it also has a big chip on the rim, possibly Fostoria. I noticed this mixing pitcher. It is labeled with Saint Germain and it has a recipe on it for a cocktail. And Saint Germain is an elderflower liqueur. Since my son is getting into mixology and cocktails, I thought he might enjoy this piece and mixing a new drink. So I put that in my cart. There's a lot to look at in the glass aisle. Lots of vases and ceramic and glass here. Most of it seems to be rather new. Did notice this white hobnail pitcher. I thought it might be older, but nope, it turned out to be 1-800 Flowers or Teleflor or something like that. This is a pretty cranberry color. And then I noticed this one. It's got some sea glass in it at the bottom, but I like the shape. It's rather unique with those planes and angles, and I do like the teal color. Does not look to be very old, and I would probably take those sea glass bits out, but yeah, I think it's got a really nice color and a nice shape, and so I leave it in my cart. Moving on, I see this pretty orange glass vase or bottle and a emerald green one. This looks to be potentially a liqueur bottle, maybe. I actually didn't read it too carefully, so I'm not sure what it was. Then in the green bottle section, I see this bottle and I pull it out. Again, I'm attracted first to the shape. It's relatively unusual with that flattened appearance. It's a bubble vase. It looks to be hand blown. I'm thinking Mexican at the time. It turns out to be an Italian brand called Amici, and it is vintage, 1980s or so, and I love the color, I love the shape, and I take that with me. Nestled in among the vases, I find this little dish. It is uranium glass, which should glow under a black light. It appears to be the pattern called Block Optic by Anchor Hocking. Online, they describe it as a cereal dish, but I think it looks more like maybe a fruit dish. It's quite shallow. I do love the pattern, so I am going to put that in my cart. I'd previously noticed this little enamel note card holder or picture holder. It is in the shape of a cocktail, a tropical drink of some kind, with a lime on the edge and a red tropical flower at the bottom, and I thought it was cute, so I decided to take it. I'm still in the glass aisle here and looking at the red and purple and pink glass vases, and I noticed these two what appear to be Depression era glass bowls. They've got the etching, and I'm a little confused though because the glass feels a lot thicker than most of the Depression era glass that I'm used to seeing and that I've handled in the past, especially along the edge. And I know that when I see Depression era glass, a lot of times it is chipped because the edges are relatively thin. So I decide I've already got some uranium glass. I'm going to leave those behind. Let me know what you think about it. Did I get it right or get it wrong? I see this piece of salt glazed crockery and I pick it up. It's by Rockville Union Stoneware. It's just a really nice piece. There is a chip on the bottom, and it to the left there you can see it, and it is labeled with Oak Creek, which is a suburb of Milwaukee. I just really want to find a home for this piece. I think it's really nice. It comes from Wisconsin, and so I put it in my cart. And this black cat bottle is very nicely designed. It's got a mid-century look, but it is contemporary. What I like about this little centerpiece is the white oak leaves. This is something for me. I just think it's sweet with the little hidden acorn there, the little pumpkin, the little pine cone, and especially those white oak leaves. That's going to go on my table in the fall. Here in the tchotchke aisle, I am scanning for things that are really unusual and stand out. And the first thing that catches my eye is this instrument. So at this point, am not sure what I'm looking at. I thought possibly it is some sort of lyre or another lap instrument. But as I look at it, I'm just really drawn to the beautiful wood grain, the craftsmanship. It is missing some strings at the top, but I figure maybe that's something that could be restrung, and so I decide to take it with me. On the same shelf, I noticed this trinket box. It is ceramic, it is hand painted, and it is by Relco. It is a vintage piece. I am sort of debating here because I do have a lot of trinket boxes in stock right now, and while it is a really pretty piece, I decide that it is not something that I feel like I need to take, so I leave it behind for someone else. Still in the tchotchke aisle, I see this dog figurine. It's well made, but it's by Sandy Cast, and they are known for being easily chipped. And you can tell there's a number of little chips on it, including right on the top of his head. So I move on. I actually tend to prefer more abstract figurines, both human and animal, other animal figurines. I am looking for something not like that, not very realistic. And actually, I usually am not looking for anything like this, but I end up picking this up. It was the bunny rabbit's mischievous expression that got to me. I thought, well, these look like possibly Hagen Renneker or Wade Whimsy's. I know these little ceramics can be very collectible. I don't think it's either one of those brands, but I do decide to take it with me. They're cute. And here's an example of what I think is a miss on my part. I noticed this figurine and it appears to be resin. I turned it over. Couldn't quite make it out then, but it appears to be a piece by an artist named Bill Vernon, who worked for Shade Tree Creations back in the 1980s and did a bunch of cowboy figurines like this. They do go for about 20 to 25 on eBay. This one was $9.99. It was a little bit high, and so I left it behind, but that might have been a mistake. Here are a couple other potential near misses. This looks to be a piece of Fenton milk glass, a hobnail with a ruffle, candy dish possibly, and those can go for about $20 on eBay. I just don't pick up a lot of milk glass. Then I noticed this pretty soap dish. Might have maybe looked a little bit closer at that, but I was taken by this big piece of ceramic birthday cake. It's not just a piece, it's the whole cake. It's by Party Light, and while it was so colorful and eye-catching, it was Party Light, so I left it behind. Looking at a silver Noah's Ark bank back there, and then the monkey face. So a lot to look at in this section. And I just thought this little blue bunny was so cute. Look at that face. There's still a lot to see in this aisle, so I am scanning for things that are unusual, that stand out and catch my eye. I am drawn to this ceramic jar, but I believe it was tabletops or something contemporary. Then I noticed this hobbyist piece, which is really cute, probably vintage. And then I pick up this piece of what I think is moss agate. It's a green agate, and it's been carved into a votive holder. And I love things made of natural materials, so I decided to take that. Oops, I have to take it out of my purse, though, because someone might have thought I was stealing. And yet another example of a possible big miss on my part. This is a Home for the Holidays figurine stand made by Goebel, which makes the Hummel figurines. I thought it was a nice piece, but I knew it was incomplete. Something was missing. So as I looked it over, it played music, it worked, but I didn't think it would be as valuable. Turns out these pieces can go for $35 to $45, even incomplete. $65 or more if complete. Here I notice a vintage Queen Anne teacup with some blue daisies. I don't really know why I felt drawn to this. It's usually blue violets that get me. I did like the blue flowers with the little yellow flower accents. When I looked up the cup on eBay, some of them do go for $15 or more, so I decided to take it, but honestly, I did not need another teacup. What was I thinking? And for the final installment of things I probably should have picked up but didn't, and I'm not talking about this pretty filigree cup, even though it is quite nice. I am talking about the two champagne flutes here to the right, which you will see in a second. This silver-plated on the top with gold plate on the bottom, possibly not really fine metals, but they look at the lines. They have an Art Nouveau kind of feel to them. They're lovely, they're elegant, and I think I should have taken them with me. So lots of misses this time. That was so much fun. I had a great time. I think the Wauwatosa Goodwill is going to be my new Tuesday night place. I did run out of time, as I do oftentimes when I go after work. I didn't even get to go through the mug aisle, which is a good thing because I really don't need any more mugs, but I still was disappointed anyway. I got some really cool things. I love that wooden lyre, beautifully made. I don't know if it's a lyre. I think it's another kind of instrument, but I'll have to look it up. That Queen Anne teacup was a pretty teacup. I didn't need any more teacups, but it was really, the little blue flowers kind of caught my heart. The Looney Tunes jelly jars or jam jars, surprising. I found so much glass this time, and I usually don't even look at the glass that closely because I don't end up finding things, but I found a lot of things. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. Hope you had a good time too. Come back, watch another video of mine, subscribe, comment, and Thrift On, siblings, we will do this again.